Hold on. Let me say it. You know the vibes.
I know the vibes, BJ. A very disappointing night for everyone at the Boston Garden, including ourselves.
Why is it disappointing, Mo?
Because that was a very winnable game for my C's. A very winnable game. But once again, turnovers prevail.
How many
Bad
did they have
shots.
for the evening? How many did they have?
Let me have a look. Because I got so mad. Did you see I had to stand up and just walk away?
Oh, yeah. You.
I've seen Jason Tatum try to pass the ball through 3 players. I just stood up and walked. They had 15 turnovers.
Oh, well, that was under 16.
But the Warriors had 16. But when you lose games like this, when the Warriors go up 3 points with under 2 minutes left, you just think back to like 2 of those turnovers in the first half. If you'd have just not thrown them, it wouldn't even be a close game. So that's the story of it. There's a few different storylines. The main one coming into the game was the change in the starting lineup.
Okay.
Which did not work.
Okay.
To start with. Because they took, if you guys didn't watch the game, they took Kevon Looney out of the starting lineup, their big man, and instead they put in Otto Porter Jr., who's a wing, versatile defender, can shoot the 3-ball a little bit. They wanted to give you offense. Right?
Okay.
And the game began, and Marcus Smart just walked into the lane and scored a layup because there's no rim protection, right? And then a few possessions later, Rob Williams gets an offensive rebound, leads to a basket. Next possession, Rob Williams gets an offensive rebound. So Steve Kerr just gets Kevon Looney off the bench, puts him back in the game. And Looney had a big impact. The Celtics got off to a hot start, and as soon as Looney came in, physical, he was on the glass. He was setting great screens. I think people underrate the impact of being a good screener in the NBA, especially when you play with a player like Steph Curry. Because your teammates
he's the only player.
No.
He's the only player that can.
Look at the difference in the Grizzlies when Steven Adams is setting the screens compared to when he's not playing or last season when it wasn't him.
Yeah, but no one setting a screen on a screen roll type situation, and how Steph comes off of a screen. I mean, he's coming off shooting. It's like a catch. I don't know. It's like a weave or something. But regardless, I get what you're saying.
Yes. Some sort of physicality. 'Cause they were not physical, to start the game, right? He brought the intensity when he checked in. The first half was very back and forth. Very back and forth. The Celtics managed to make a little bit of a run, get up. The crowd was behind them. But I don't know. I always watch the Warriors, right? And I always wonder, they know how good they are in the third. So towards the end of the second quarter, sometimes it feels like they take their foot off the gas just a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think that's what they do. I think they just
the way they closed out that first half.
Well, it's an art, and I don't want to give away Coach Kerr's. This makes me. I don't want to give away his secret, but I will say this: you look for every advantage you can, and a huge advantage is, and anyone who works out or been a part of teams and play team sports. There's a warm-up process, and then you warm down. And halftime, normally, you warm down, and then it's kind of just, you don't take it, it's not that you don't take it serious, is you have to warm yourself back up in the third quarter.
Yeah, so just for the guys at home, right, because you made an interesting observation when we were doing the show, that the Celtics guys came back out onto the court much earlier than usual.
Yes.
Can you talk the fans through what happens during the halftime break? Because obviously the fans see commercials or they see Red Panda.
Yeah, what you do is you come in, you kind of, you gather yourself. If you play well, you want to have, coaches always try to give players, some time to decompress from the game.
So you go into the locker room and you kind of just
coaches
take a minute.
will meet players, get what you need. You got ice, whatever it is, bathroom, use the restroom. And then everybody kind of gathers back. And then traditionally you want to be back on the court with 5 minutes to go to warm back up to get back. Tonight, I made the comment to you, the Celtics were out with 7-8 minutes to go.
Yeah. As soon as Red Panda went,
they
by the
were
way, how
already
cool
out.
was it to see Red Panda live?
So what that tells me is that they are aware that the Warriors are going to make these adjustments.
Yeah.
And we used to practice this in Chicago, and I know where Coach Kerr got it from, is you always wanted to jump on a team in the first 5 minutes because as they're warming up, you already
warm.
Yeah. And it's just like it's like one of those things, like you mess it around, you're not messing around, you're just kind of like
you're just getting up a few shots,
and then it's like 4 or 5 minutes before you actually rev the engine back up.
Yeah.
Well, the Warriors,
they come out on 10.
Yeah, so we would always practice, and that was the first time I ever saw it in Chicago. We would always practice where we always had a halftime in practice.
Okay. So it makes you cool down.
And then it's your job to figure out what you need to do to get back up to that. So, it's kind of like you go and then you have to get back up here.
Yeah.
And I started noticing it. It was like one of those things, like everyone's kind of hanging out at halftime and you're gearing up. And then about time you've made like an 8 to 10 point run. So I think they were down, 6?
Yeah.
And I said, Mo, they're going to make a 10-point run.
Yeah. So it was, what was it? I can't remember. But
I remember they had 54.
Yeah,
they had 54. And I remember, and I was like, Mo, when they come back, it's going to be 59 to 54.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But I remember it was 54. And so I think that's what it is, and I know that's what they do. And I also know that they make sure that they can put their defense in position so that they can shrink the court.
Yes. That's
what they did. They did it again.
Great job. Like, first of all, the Celtics did a good job in the third quarter, though, because the Warriors looked like they were going on one of their runs, and then the Celtics fought back. They didn't wait until the fourth quarter.
Right.
They fought back.
They are aware of it.
They only lost by 6 points. The third quarter individually was 30-24.
Mm-hmm.
They only lost it by 6 points. Now, the fourth quarter was where the real problems. They were outscored 28-19. And for me, it felt like Jason Tatum just disappeared.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. When you're taking the ball out of the basket,
Yep.
it's very hard. And, there were some questionable shots, especially late with the threes. They didn't need a 3. They could have just got a 2.
But that's credit to the Warriors putting 3 or 4 bodies in the paint every time someone was driving.
They didn't need a 3. And I thought the Warriors, I give the Warriors credit. The Warriors got the matchups that they wanted. That was the key tonight. Listen.
Yeah, they targeted Al Horford from the jump. From the first quarter, they were targeting Steph Curry. Whoever Al Horford was guarding was coming to set a screen. Now, what the Celtics did in the previous game is they had pre-switch. So they were doing this to Rob Williams. So they would pre-switch because they were trying to target Rob Williams. So they'd have Rob Williams come up and set a screen. Rob Williams' man come up and set a screen, and Steph would go against Rob Will. But now the Celtics are alternating their bigs. They've gone to a smaller lineup of either Al Horford or Rob Williams, unless it's the start of the game or the start of the second half. So now when Al Horford's on the floor, they're saying, we're just going to target you. And let's see how much you got left in the tank at 36 years old.
Yeah,
and he struggled on both ends.
He really, it's not him not scoring doesn't bother me. It's like a reaction.
Yeah.
He struggles to react, and I'm not sure if he's injured or something. I'm not sure.
Look at what we've been saying about him through this playoffs, right? Did an amazing job in the first round sweep. But then against Milwaukee, look at what he had to do against Milwaukee. And we kept saying during that series, he's not going to be able to do this again. He's not going to be able to do this. But he kept doing it. And then against Miami, he kept doing it. And then to start this series, he kept doing it. So there has to be a point where...
Yeah,
Because either he's being the man who like he's guarding Wiggins or Draymond, they'll come and set the screen for Steph. And then he's got to guard Steph. But then if he's not guarding those guys and they set an off-ball screen and they switch, he's guarding Klay. And then they'll just run through Klay 2 or 3 screens to get Klay a wide open 3 because he can't keep up with Klay Thompson curling around screens. So, in my opinion, I think he just looks exhausted. And then when you're exhausted, you can't have the reaction speed that you usually would.
Yeah, something just doesn't look right. He's not reacting. Okay, all right, you're tired. Okay, I get that. He's not reacting. Like you'll jab at him and he doesn't react.
Yeah.
That's what's it's like. It was like in game 2, he just didn't react at all in game 2.
Yeah.
Bounced back in game 3, They only had a day in between that, but then that's age. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
takes time to recover. And then tonight, he just wasn't moving well. He just wasn't moving well tonight. But that's neither here or there. You know, the Celtics had a chance. You know, hopefully Rob Williams is okay. I'm not sure what was going on with him. He didn't look good physically.
At the end of the game, he didn't check back in. His knee seems to be giving him some trouble.
Look physical. And he is the difference maker. Now, he is a real problem for the Warriors. But, again, give the Warriors – you know, I'm just going to give Steph credit. This was Steph Curry's night.
That was his night.
He had it going. I mean, when you say a signature game –
that was an all-time performance.
If they win this series, we're all going to say, do you remember Game 4 in Boston?
Oh, that's the define unless because I'll say this though, he's got to do it again and again and again. But before we get to that, you're going to hear all of that on a Hoop Genius podcast presented by NBA 2K22. I forgot to say that at the start because you were doing the intro today.
Yes.
But so here's my deal with the Celtics, right? Their offense just sometimes it looks great, right? I said to you they're the number one team in the playoffs in assist rate, right? They got the most assists out of every team. Like over 60% of their baskets in the playoffs have been assisted. In the finals so far, like almost like 70%, right? Tonight it was just like I don't know what was going on, but in the first quarter, Jason Tatum was getting possessions where he would stand in the corner and not be involved at all, and then when it gets to about 10 seconds left, they'll run him off a pin down. And he'll catch the ball with 8 seconds left on the clock, and he's going to have to try and post someone up in the mid-range and try and create something. He's catching the ball in stationary, and it's just, he makes tough shots. So he's going to get you 20 points, 25 points, whatever you got. But it's not the optimal offense that you want to see the Celtics running. When I watch the Celtics offense, it's very frustrating at times. Sometimes it looks great. Driving, kick, pass the ball, rotate around. Sometimes I watch it, and it's just mind-boggling to me.
Well, you know, listen, when you lose, you know, you nitpick at everything. The bottom line is this. They have to get stops, and in particular, they have to figure out a way to slow down Mr. Curry. That's just, when someone plays this way, Mo, what can you do? I mean, when you think about it, in spite of all of that you saw a man play tonight that was just near perfection.
Yep, he had a fantastic game, right?
Okay, he had 40-something points.
He had 43, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and
how many minutes did he play?
He played 40 minutes.
Okay,
that's an insane stat line. But here's the deal: is he had 10 rebounds. Steph Curry had 10.
You do what you got to do. A great player is going to be great. That's just how this works. So
there was an offensive rebound he got. That was a putback. That was the most ridiculous thing I've seen in the NBA Finals.
Okay, that's fine. That's great. All right. I don't know if this is the most ridiculous thing, but he got it. He put it back. And
how are you letting Steph Curry get 10
because everyone's looking around waiting for the other guy to do it. It happens. That happens.
And now, Andrew Wiggins had 16 to go over 17
Wiggins,
points.
Now that's the guy that we should be talking about. He really did a really, really nice job. Big time effort. He rebounded the ball well. He's been defending well. I mean, give him credit. He's been defending, whether it's Ja Morant, Luka Doncic, in this series, Jason Tatum.
He takes on the hardest assignments.
You know, you got to give him credit, but in spite of all the things that happened, and certainly a lot of things, the Warriors did, and they did very well. The Celtics still had a chance to win the game.
Yep, most definitely. But here's my thing with the rebounding is, I always talk about the Celtics turning the ball over and how easy it is for the Warriors to score in transition. What the Warriors did a great job of tonight is when they got their rebounds, they were pushing the ball straight away to keep the pace high, keep the tempo high. So it doesn't matter if it's not turnover, missed shot is technically still you're turning the ball over. They were getting the ball out and they were getting easy looks. So the Celtics need to dominate on the boards like they did in the previous game to stop this and be able to control the tempo.
Okay. As you and I talk, let's say it again on air so we can look at these things. The key to the Celtics is the following. Marcus Smart has to play at a high level. Why? Mm-hmm. Because when Steph Curry has 40, I can absorb the 40 or 43 or whatever he scores if my guy scores 20-something.
He had 18 to go along with 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and 4 steals.
Okay. Now, if Steph had 30, Marcus had 18, I can absorb that. Mm-hmm. I can't absorb 40 something, and Marcus has 18.
Yeah.
And Steph had what, 6, 7, 8 threes? I don't know what he shot from three, but
Steph had an insane 7 threes.
Okay, he had 7
50% from downtown.
Okay,
Crazy.
so when you have that, it's the disparity is too big.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just too big. Marcus.
Yeah, so I see like the Celtics outscored their opponent at each position, aside from the point guard position.
This is, if you're going to beat Steph Curry at the Warriors, you have to match him on the offensive end because he will overwhelm you with three-point shooting. It's a real thing.
Yes.
And when you have a guy that makes 7 threes and he shoots 50%, okay?
That's insane.
Okay. Now you have to shoot like 85%.
Yeah.
To get that,
Yeah, because the 3 points, it's an extra point every possession.
All right. So he has what, 7, what? So
He's got 21 points from behind the arc.
21. And then what did Marcus have?
Marcus had how many threes?
Yeah.
He had 3.
Okay.
3 from 9.
Okay.
And
so
1 free throw.
So that's 9. So what did they lose by? 10? That's like 10, 11 points.
Yeah.
So that's the difference in the game.
Yeah. The other thing as well is in the last game, they did a great job of applying pressure to Steph by getting him in foul trouble. So,
but they didn't execute. Jaylen Brown did not execute tonight.
He had 21. And Tatum had 23. But I just feel like those guys were they had stretches where they were there, but then they just faded away.
Yeah, they didn't. Jaylen Brown was not there. He was not crisp. He was not sharp. Derek White was not crisp. Was not sharp. Al Horford was not crisp. They were just like a little. You would have thought that they were the older team.
Yeah.
The way they played, and and I thought, they were playing as if, well, we're just gonna hang around because they did hang around. They just kind of they were hanging around, but they never had a run. You know what I mean? We always say the NBA is a game of runs. Well, they never had a run tonight. Mm-hmm. They got up 6 or 7, and you were like, is this it? And then it was like Steph Curry, that 7-point lead now 6.
Yeah.
And then Steve Kerr, and I pointed it out to you on air. I said, Steve Kerr now is trying to just buy minutes because.
Yep. And
Klay Thompson.
He had a good game.
They all hit timely shots. Wiggins, they were up 6 or 7, and all of a sudden Wiggins.
I mean, Klay started off having a rough night, and he shot his way back into it.
That's one thing about Klay. You can always count on. He's gonna get up the shot. So give him credit. Great game. Now let's move on to Game 5.
I'm just looking at my phone here because someone sent me something interesting. It's pretty strange, but it's pretty interesting. Nick Young, Swaggy P, is the latest celebrity to be in a boxing match. He's going to be fighting the rapper Blueface.
Where is this coming from?
Sharif O'Neal just shared it. They're calling it the Battle of LA, Sir Swaggy versus the Super Crip. And Deron Williams is fighting on the undercard. Sorry,
Deron Williams again?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I don't know. I just got brought to my attention. I thought I'll just
okay.
Who you got, Blueface or Swaggy P?
I have no idea about either one of them.
You know who Blueface is?
Who is Blueface?
Is Blueface Bust Down Thotiana?
I have no idea who that is.
All right.
Who is Blueface?
He's a rapper.
Oh, where is he from?
I've got no idea. He calls himself the Super Crip, so I'm assuming LA.
Oh, okay.
But it'd be kind of weird from this. But anyway, back to the playoffs.
Yeah, please.
Back to the playoffs. I don't know why Sharif is saying this, but we go back to the playoffs. The Celtics, it largely now dependent on the health of Rob Williams. It wasn't encouraging the way he ended.
Oh no, it's not largely.
Yeah,
no,
I think it is.
It's not largely. No.
If he doesn't play,
the Celtics can win. Now, the Celtics can win. Now, if those guys play like they played tonight, if Al Horford, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and those guys play like they, Derek White, if those guys play like they played
he gave
tonight,
you 16 off the bench, though.
Okay, that's fine. You know what? 16 points doesn't tell me the impact of the game. Like,
Yeah, he was throwing mad.
you talk about Derek White, right?
Yeah, he was throwing mad.
Yeah, Derek White he did not play well tonight. Now he scored some baskets. He did not play well. He didn't play well. He had some unforced turnovers, a couple of shots that were like, he made some shots, but it was like, he just didn't play well. He didn't get. He was retreating on defense. What is he retreating for? Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I get it. If you're playing 40 minutes a night, you should be retreating, all right? But you're coming off the bench. What are you retreating for on Steph Curry? Your job is to. Steph Curry would walk into half court. Like,
yep.
That's unacceptable.
And this is one thing I like from the Warriors, that Gary Payton gave them really good minutes.
Gary Payton was
picking up full court, even when it was like Payton Pritchard. Exactly. He was picking up Payton Pritchard full court on the possession. And then if you watched how he guarded Tatum, there's times where Tatum's trying to get position on the box.
Yeah,
and he just wouldn't give it to him. He just pushed him off the box.
Exactly.
Gary Payton had an excellent game, even though it might not show up. The way he was guarding these guys was unbelievable.
Most guys play for stats. Your job as a player is to bring effort and energy. That's it. If you're going to play winning basketball, you're not going to play with the stats. That's how the game works. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to play for your stats, and I'm only going to pass when I get an assist, or I'm only going to rebound when it's in my area. All right. So Gary Payton provided and did a job.
So speaking of not playing for the stats, what did you make of Draymond Green's performance?
Typical Draymond Green night. It was impactful.
I think it was okay. I think he had 4 steals, 8 assists, 8 rebounds. But there were times on offense where he was just not looking.
Okay, that's great.
And it's not even 3-pointers in the paint, layups.
Okay, he didn't look. Okay, so all right, let's make that.
Because everyone kills Ben Simmons for doing it, but with Draymond is.
So my question is, if he's not looking at the basket, why are we rotating to him? See, I can't look at that. Why are we rotating to him then so that he can get 8 or 9 assists if he's not looking at the basket? It doesn't make sense. Yeah. The Celtics just weren't sharp tonight. KYP, know your personnel. If Draymond is in the lane, how is he passing it to another big, Kevon Looney, for a layup, and they're both in the lane? That's just not knowing your personnel.
Well, that's just transition again, over turnover again.
That's just not knowing that. That's just unacceptable. That's not championship caliber basketball.
No.
If Draymond is out there, why are we rotating to him? Mm-hmm. Why? That doesn't even make sense. If Draymond is passing the ball, how is Steph Curry curling? Because the guy who's passing the ball, his job is to always jump towards the pass so you can't get the curl. That's just championship caliber basketball 1-on-1. It's not like we don't know where Steph is at. Tonight, the Celtics were not sharp. Tonight, the Celtics had a number of breakdowns. Tonight, they weren't given the second and third efforts. I can only remember one effort where I actually thought it was a hustle play when Jason Tatum.
Yep. That turnover possession anyway, because he had the ball.
How is Steph Curry and these guys getting offense? It was just, Wiggins had a couple of offensive rebounds that you go, and putbacks you go.
Yep.
So you just, hey, some nights you don't have it.
I mean,
they didn't have it tonight.
The Celtics didn't look sharp.
Exactly. They did not have it. So but the Warriors did. The Warriors played with a sense of urgency.
Well, they had to.
They
couldn't go down 3-1.
The Celtics had to too.
The Celtics are always complacent after a win. And this is the problem with them. It seems like they only want to play championship caliber basketball after they've lost or after they've gone down.
Okay, that's fine.
It's not fine, though.
Whatever it is, it's gotten them this far. Whatever it is. I'm not here to change them. It is what it is. If you have an opportunity to finish, that's the key. If you have an opportunity to finish it. You had an opportunity tonight, and you let it slip by. And at some point, that's going to come back to burn you.
Yep.
At some point, it will. Now, this is a team they always make it difficult. And here's another example. And guess what? Now we're saying it's the Warriors, and everyone's thinking it's the Warriors, and Steph is going back home, and all of these things, and then
We're going to see. There's only one way to find out, and you got to tune into the Hoop Genius podcast presented by 2K22. The Celtics weren't sharp. Neither is my haircut, and I'm hoping that I can get to the Bay, and one of my homies is going to get me right.
Everyone's focused on the game right now.
No, they're not.
Everyone's focused on the game.
The Celtics lost because I need to freshen up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's the real reason. You know what I mean? The great man DJ Khaled told me, listen, when everything's going wrong, get a haircut and everything will start going right. Okay?
It's a new world.
So anyway, we're not going to be here tomorrow. We're traveling back to the Bay Area. We're going to be back on Monday morning for you guys, previewing Game 5. The crucial. I don't know what the stat is. 70%, 80%.
I thought Game
90%.
3 was the most important game of the series. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I said season 7 from early, so the teams are just.
Well, it's not about being right. You just
It's always about being right.
you only say that is because everyone knows that you're rooting for the Celtics. You're
Yes.
the only person. You're the only person that think
Yes.
because you have your hands over your eyes that no one can see you. And I'll play along with it. Bull said 7, so he's right.
Yes.
He
No,
went out
the
on the
reason-
limb and said
The
7.
reason is like these teams are just alternating wins. Celtics win Game 1, get complacent. Warriors win Game 2. Celtics bounce back, get complacent. Warriors win Game 4. That's just how it goes.
That's
it's the
fine.
same thing what happened in Miami.
That's fine. If that's how you see, if that's how we want to see it, that's fine. In the end,
But we're going to break down a crucial Game 5 on Monday morning's episode. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you stay subscribed. Most importantly, unlike the Celtics in the fourth quarter tonight, get buckets.